Okay.
You record it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, welcome to this session with Inanc, Civaz, and Sebnem, Gürün, Özeren. This is a workshop, an agility booster workshop, and I had the pleasure in meeting them both in the spring during COVID. As part of our IC Agile certification facilitation online with Agile people. And these are two passionate women, and they are managing partners of Haga Business Consultancy. Do you pronounce it like that?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, and you can tell me, what do you call yourself? Sebnem and
Organizational explorers.
Yeah. So welcome so much, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for being our host, Jenny. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me stop sharing, Inanc, then you could share our presentation maybe.
Yes, and I hope that I don't have a technical problem here. So
cross our fingers. Yes, if you.
So, okay.
Will soon be working. Soon you can.
What does that mean?
Is
Just
it
when
okay?
you're, is that
Yeah.
Turkish?
Loading.
Okay.
Loading. In Turkish.
Okay. Hi, I thought that I was using English, or I'm not aware of it. Okay, so now you see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's good. I made with this online. You are always a little bit anxious about technical small problems. Okay, welcome again to our first online Agile People conference. My name is Inanc. And thank you, Jenny, for making hosting. And Sebnem is my business partner, and she's the president of Turkish part. We are Haga Organizational Explorers, which is a Turkish-Dutch joint, which is a joint venture company. We are a research backgrounded company indeed, and we provide our clients customized business solutions. We approach agile transformation and cultural change from a holistic framework of strategy, structure, and culture. And today we will also talk about our unique and award-winning research model, which will also help you to understand this holistic framework. This is a model articulating the intangible assets into tangible, concrete values. And this gives a know-how power to especially senior managers and also to agile coaches to leverage the human potential in their company or in their departments or in their projects. So I hope that after these workshops, you will get some tools or inspiration or insight how you can also use this tool or approach.
So why we have started with motivation? Because we believe that no creature changes behavior without a motivation that they have. Even paramecium, actually. You know, paramecium is a one-celled animal. We don't know what their purpose in life. Maybe they just have a purpose of just be alive, but they also have they should also have a motivation for them to behave differently, act differently. So if we jump from the paramecium to Friedrich Nietzsche, he said that she who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. So the why and the how part is really important. When you have a why in your life, which you have a meaning for, which you really find meaningful, then even if you have lots of challenges in your way, lots of barriers, you can really define the how to tackle with those. And we know that, I think you have heard this word terminology VUCA in this conference from too many different authors. We live in the VUCA world. It means volatility, uncertainty, and ambiguity. And in this world, you know, because everything is connected to each other and because there is continuous change, we really are in a changeable environment. Something happening in China may have an effect on the world, actually, physically, economically, or virtually. So the things that we already learn, we have to unlearn them. We have to learn new things and develop new things. And also the technology is evolving in a disruptive manner, so we have to also adapt to the technology. And every company or every person has a purpose, actually. And in order to reach that purpose with all these changes, you have to adapt your strategy, you have to adapt your structure, but also you have to adapt your culture, which is maybe the hardest one. And in order with your employees, with your gunpowder to really adapt, you need to motivate them to the purpose you have and also the changes you would like to make in your company. So as we said, we are in continuous change. And what if your employees are not motivated? How can you sustain your competitive advantage? It's really not possible. Motivation is our gunpowder in the war and the ammo to realize our purpose in life and work. So we really need to motivate ourselves and our employees in the organization. Henrik Kleeberg was in Istanbul in an Agile Summit almost 2 years ago. And as a change agent, he made a confession. He said that change is really difficult. And he said that, could you really change an organization? Should you really continue to work as an Agile coach or a change agent in an organization? No, if those people do not want to change, if the organizations do not want to change, because if they are not motivated to change, it's not possible to do them. You cannot force them, push them. There should be a pull system. Yes, if people want to change, you can support them as a change agent. And people want to change when they are inspired about the purpose and the result that you give to them, that vision, and when they are motivated, actually.
Yes, now I'm taking the word. Yes, we like to use metaphor, I guess, from paramecium. Now I would like you to look at this motorcycle and imagine that it's a company. So like every company, it has its own targets and objectives and a leadership group who work on their vision and strategy. And let's imagine the metal parts are like the structure of the company. For example, technical infrastructures, the processes, the hierarchical structures and the competencies of the workforce, something like that. And let's think that the back wheel is culture. One day something changed, either because of the competition, the strategy needs to be repositioned again, or the leadership team has been fired because of the shareholders, because we are in VUCA world and we can earn and lose a lot of money. And the new company objectives have been defined. With this thing, if you want to go faster with this new brand, new red motorcycle, unless you change your back wheel, indeed, it is not possible to reach your full potential. And I think it also makes, sounds logical to ourselves also. Then what we will do, how we will change this back wheel easier and faster. As Sebnem also mentioned with this paramecium metaphor, one of the first and critical thing to remember is that no creature in the nature changes the behavior without motivations. And if people are motivated, then the change in culture would be easier. And we believe that the key to success is to understand the organization's dynamics with a holistic mindset. As we say, the back wheel, which is the culture, one of the most important part of this motorcycle. So the first key pillar is culture. However, as you also know, there are challenges in working with culture. It's not so easy to make it tangible, and plus also not easy to clearly connect it to a company's why, company's purpose. Moreover, solely understanding the culture also is not enough. The organization is already an ecosystem with its employees and their interaction with the environment. You need to also understand the structure. The structure is the sum of your hard and soft resources. So from the extent of technical infrastructure to your workforce skills and competences. And of course, the way you prefer to use them. If you are using a hierarchical structure on agile teams and so on. So what we did, As we said in the introduction part, we are a research backgrounded consultancy group, and after our experience, we created a holistic and inclusive measurable model capable to convert these intangible insights to tangible, concrete outcomes. And we put human being into the heart of this model. This is very critical because this helps us to focus directly on experience. We are all talking about customer experience, employee experience. Why we are talking about it? Because according to the new behavioral economics studies, first we need to change the behavior, and then our thoughts will follow and accordingly, because the old system was saying that first you need to change your thoughts and then your behavior will change accordingly. But now the recent research are showing that it's completely different. So then we understand how this human being is connected with the three pillars of a company: strategy, structure, and culture. Afterwards, we understand driving forces, enablers or barriers, motivation factors in your company clearly and in a shorter time. And we understand, we can analyze these parameters in details and also see the main patterns. We also see how they are correlated to each other and how it is related to your company purpose and performance level. So in short, we can say that we created a kind of formula, but in order not to go further, because we are talking strategies, structure, culture, motorcycle, and drivers, motivators, maybe it's a little bit too much, and I can absolutely understand that. And because of that reason, we wanted to make this session as a workshop, and we prepared some exercises to go step by step over a case, over a real case.
So this will be an exercise or organization agility booster. We will have 3 parts on it. Case part 1, case part 2, and lead project. And first of all, we will start with the case 1 part. After explaining this, I will be sending you the mural link. So in this case, you are the top managers of a global Big 4 consultancy company. And as Inanc said, this is a real case actually. Your market is highly dynamic and competitive, and there is a continuous growth pressure from Europe headquarters. Because of that reason, while you are developing new and innovative products, you also increase your product range and you make more cross-sells to your existing clients. And in order to keep your competitive advantage as the top managers of this company, you believe that your qualified employees is your gunpowder. You see some inefficiencies in the system and think that this is because of your IT infrastructure and your current organizational structure. You are planning to start an agile way of working in IT teams by giving them agile Scrum trainings and appointing a Scrum Master there. At the same time, you expect your senior managers to support their teams and keep their motivation high. So after we will be giving you the mural link, we will kindly ask you to, as a group, because I don't think that it would be logical to divide the group into 2, right? We can do it as one group. We would kindly ask you to, as a group, as the managers, top managers of this company, just write down the priorities. What do you think is very important in this company in reaching their targets, and write them in these post-its, and then put them in the very important, and the less important part. We would have maximum 5 minutes, and we will be also running the timer for this.
Yes,
now our people are coming. The
Yep.
cat came, the goat came. Yes, everybody is coming. So let we start the timer. You can have a discussion as much as you want. What is this?
Indeed, we could split to the breakout rooms, but we will have one more exercises and finish it. So time-wise, we prefer that.
Okay.
If there is anyone having problem to answer or using the mural, please write through chat so that we can try to help you.
Okay, I'm also here. And if you cannot separate two very important or less important, you just put whatever you think.
There's lots of communication coming.
Communication, 2 times important.
3.
3 times, oh yes, now I see. And continuous feedback also may be considered as a part of communication.
Mm-hmm.
And again, communication. Why, what, if not?
Ask questions to understand user stories. Scrum training.
An important strategy explain. Everyone is the same with transparency. Big room planning. William, did you write this one?
I did.
She calls you.
But it is important.
Of course it's important. and maybe the circular, this design also remembered your
No, I'm not meaning literally the tool, but just that you have all the departments together and the
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
That's more what I meant.
We have a minute left and there are still some movements, so we're waiting.
And if you think some things can be taken to the less important, please also do that. So in order to see what are the less important according to the information of the case. Benchmark.
Time is up.
Yes.
So you are also seeing what you have all written here, but mainly what we see is communication have written 3 times, communicate why, what if not, also have written, ask questions to understand user stories, common goal. So these are the things that you as the managers of this company have written, and this is very aligned with the case part 2 actually, because if you are in our screen, now we are in the case part 2. If you are in your mural screen, you can just from the outline go to the case part 2.
Yes.
Because as you have also defined in the most important part, you thought that there might be other problems that you cannot articulate precisely, and you decided to hire some consultants who are widely experienced in business transformations and made a holistic analysis. Would you want to continue, Inanc?
But I cannot see.
Sorry.
Okay. Yes, now it's better. Okay. So, as we said, this is a real case. This was a real case. In reality also, even though the managers were aware of some problems or some issues to improve, they wanted to know much deeper about the problems or innovation improvement areas. And they decided to call us and to make this analysis, this holistic analysis with them. So our analysis indeed comprise of 3 milestones. First, we meet with the partners or senior managers, and we are making half an hour in-depth interviews, and we are getting their insights. Afterwards, we are making focus groups from all layers of positions and departments, and we are trying to get the employees for the same aspects. What are their perspective? And then we analyze, we assess these results, and we customize our questionnaire, because we don't believe that we cannot approach everything with a standards approach. After we customize our questionnaire, we prepare our online survey, and then we are sending these by emails to all employees within company-wide. And we get the quantitative data. First, we make the qualitative analysis, then afterwards, according to this first analysis, we make the quantitative analysis. And at the same time, we can measure the engagement level within the company, only with 3 questions. And also, we are asking the informal leaders. Indeed, that was a research that we were using for other projects, like crisis management projects or for political campaigns, but we embedded these here also. Why? Because informal leaders are very important. Informal leader means that either you like your company or either you hate your company, you are trusting in some people in that company. For example, when we ask to whom you trust most in that company, we always have some common names. And our mission is to convince these people, these informal leaders, to help us and to participate to our projects. It's important because these informal leaders indeed make an exponential impact while we are trying to change the culture within the company, because people already believe in that, believe in these people. So in the end of the day, what we received, indeed, this is a very long research report, but we are just giving a very, very small portion of that. As I tried to explain during the presentation, we are trying to understand the correlation between strategy, structure, and culture, which is drivers, enablers or barriers, and motivators. And when we ask them their drivers and enablers, by the way, I can still not see very clearly, Sebnem.
So let me go to the drivers part first, maybe, Inanc?
Yes, drivers part. At the drivers part, indeed, qualified human resource was important. And by the way, we also begin the research with how the employees aware about the company objectives. We didn't put here, but it's related to the strategy. And we had realized that indeed the employees in Turkey was only or almost articulating the mission, the objective that has been pushed from the Europe headquarter. And they were always saying, yeah, financial gain is important for us, but it was an alert for the company. Why? Because you cannot sustain your company's competitive advantage only by focusing on financial gains. But the good things when we made the research was The driver for the company, indeed for the people who are already working them, was the passionate human resources were driver for them. And innovation also was important. And can we go down? And also we asked the enablers according to the employees, and employees means all managers, C-levels, partners, and all employees. And they mentioned approximately with 70% qualified and sufficient human resources again, and then team's level of skills and competences. So even though they declare their company objective as a financial gain, indeed, they see as a driver factor the qualified human source. But on the other hand, when we go to the other side, Sebnem, when we ask them, what are the barriers in your company? Almost with 85%, they say that salary and employee benefits and low employee satisfaction and then workload. Indeed, that was a real alert for us. Why? Because first of all, the company was not aligned in their purpose. They were just mimicking the Europe headquarters motto. So that doesn't motivate the employee, of course. Plus, they had driver like qualified human resources. And by that time, by the way, they had very qualified, talented workforce. But on the other hand, we see that they are not satisfied with their salary and employee benefits. It's important because if you want to keep your talent there in your company, you cannot only keep them for longer time. Plus, if you don't invest on them, and plus even you make them demotivated by basic salary. It was interesting. Why? Because according to the recent research, we know that, especially for the workforce in Europe or USA, we know that people are not only motivated by financial gains. They are looking for purposes, or other intangible rewards. But here, the workforce are still at the Maslow's pyramid's bottom line, and they are seeking to reach that level. So it was a really interesting result for us. And then we look also to the motivator factor. Again, it was double check confirmation for the result. The people, the employees have been declaring that they will be motivated by salary and employee benefits. So it was indeed a pity solution, because we are talking with, about one of the biggest consultancy group in the world. They already have a big group, thousands of consultants working there, intelligent, talented, and they are struggling because they think that they cannot even get the basic salary. Yes, that was the solution. And if we, maybe Sebnem, you can summarize, if we compare these two parts, for example, I guess nobody put salary and benefit in the most priority in our case. You put communication, and that is a very good thing. Internal communication also was very important for the employees, but they could not pass to the communication part because they have problems with the salary.
Oh, because sake of the time, I'm also trying to be a little bit fast because we have only 15 minutes.
Yes.
So as we said, in this case, you are the managers, top managers of this company. So you have hired the consultants, and these consultants give you these information with graphics, with numbers. And now if we go to the LEAP project, after getting these results, please define which projects do you want to start within your company, and please also map them in this feasibility importance graph. You remember in the first case, they were planning to have a Scrum team in the IT department and have a Scrum Master. But after these results, what would you want to do? Can we do it in 3 minutes because of time? Because
I
we want to.
so much. Yes, sorry.
No problem.
You don't need to write a lot, because just a little bit taste of what we are trying to achieve. Just even you can write just some words. What kind of project would you initiate first?
After getting these kind of data on your hand.
Your first thought will change, maybe. Yes, maybe one more Zoom.
I think Edwin was from compensation and benefits and wanted to have a better employee experience. Maybe we can get help from Adam. Reward and recognition. Celebrate success.
Yes, last 30 seconds.
Yes.
I talk, and then now I'm pushing.
If I'm not mistaken, there are no other actions. One from William. So mainly what you have written actually, you would start a project on reward and recognition, benchmark on salaries, fairness in salaries. So if there is a budget on the salaries, because this is the main thing, main barrier, it seems, that you have in your company in order to reach your purpose, and you were not aware of it. One of you has said that, where is it, motivation? Finding out what really motivates people. You are very right. By the way, the graph that we have shown you, it is a general one for the whole company. So what are the motivation factors of people? But with this research, we also give you department, by gender, by age, also what motivates really people, because this research starts with an open-ended questions survey with a one-to-one and focus group workshops. It really gives you lots of ideas about how to motivate.
Yes.
And
yes. We have only 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Yes. So, yeah, in short, maybe I can share my screen if you stop it. Indeed, what we have tried to do it, and where is my presentation? Share. Yes, it's. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So indeed, we, as you see, we pinpointed the real needs and the real pain points within the company. At the beginning, and maybe you also realized, you were focusing on communication, you were focusing on Scrum trainings and other things maybe. But after you really try to understand real motivation factors according to the employees, after you ask them openly and checking again, you realize that indeed the real problem is employee benefits and meeting employee expectations. And we also seen that you also change your priority accordingly. So that was the idea. So because of that reason, the holistic approach is important. Because of that reason, to ask to people is important. We all asking to people, but with this model, we think that we can do in a shorter and in a clearer way.
Inanc, can you just go up one, please? The other slide. So
Yeah.
Adam has a comment, and it is very valid, Adam. You say that people complain about reward, but it could be more about allowing career opportunities and understanding of what is fair. Yes, they really had the problem of fairness, because they were thinking that the managers are really getting too much and they were getting very little. And they were even complaining about their lunch tickets. They were saying that it is a system in a way that when they go to a customer, they cannot use it because it is only valid in the restaurants just near the head office. So
Okay.
these were really seemed unmeaningful to them, and they were really angry. They were really became detractors about this small problem. So
Okay.
when we gave these details, a company had something to start with, actually.
Yeah, so the message is indeed, as long as you don't know really what motivates your employee, as long as you don't ask them, you can pay a lot of money on Scrum trainings, but it will not work. You can work a lot on communication tools, it will not work. So today, because of this very time pressure, at least we try to explain that the importance of a holistic approach, and we emphasize the importance of this initial analysis. So I hope we could give some insight to you. We could also share this mural afterwards if you prefer it. Why this is important? Because we said that we put the human being into the heart of our model, because our aim indeed to convince people, because this is the hardest part. You can indeed learn tools and methodology relatively easier. And we believe that if you convince the people, you focus on human behavior and use these kinds of tools, afterwards we become more a learning organization. So I will not repeat this as you see, but in very short, this model help us from where and how to start in a shorter and more efficiently, I guess, from both parts, as Agile coach and also from the client side. And that was our part. And, since we are running of time, if you have further questions, you can also reach us, Sebnem or me, from LinkedIn, from email. I don't know, maybe we have to finish in 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, so just a comment with Adam's comments. What did they do after this research, Adam? They still build up a Scrum team, a multidisciplinary team, but they made it to work on the project was about the employee benefits and how they perceive it. So they still wanted to use the principles of Agile and the multidisciplinary teams, but they have changed the scope from IT projects to the compensation on benefits. And those people, and they have also put their detractors, the informal leaders there in the project. So those people started to come up with ideas. Okay, where should we start? What we do so that it would be perceived as what is the right word? As fair. So this is the way that they have changed their way, actually.
Okay.
Yes. Can we stop there for a little while so everybody can ask you a question if they have before we finish? Yeah. Lovely presentation and very interactive session. So yeah, do anybody have a question about this?
Let me speak then. I think yes, it's a great idea, because a lot of people complain about and obviously the problem was completely different from what was perceived at the beginning. You thought it was about systems and things, but it was something else completely, and only through that analysis or technique that you can figure out what it's about. But also sometimes you want to try and the company is always trying to limit their expenses, and usually employees are the most expensive resource for a lot of companies. So you might want to tweak it rather than like the first reaction is just to increase everyone's salaries, but it wasn't about that. It was about fairness and making sure that, and you might not need to, for example, change the lunch allowance. You just give it in cash, then you can use it anywhere. It might cost slightly more, but it's not going to be a huge cost. So it's small things like that you can make a big difference.
Yeah, and you can also question the customer, what is the loss that you currently have, because these employees are not motivated because they know that there is inefficiency in the projects and they are losing money, maybe much more than that they would give with the lunch ticket. Actually, you can also compare it with numbers, because senior managers love numbers. This is why also we love this booster, agility booster. It really gives the senior managers who would like to bring a change, and also the agile coaches, a tangible with data and numbers where to start actually.
Yeah, indeed, we are not dying for numbers. This is not our purpose, but it's a convincing tool. It's a tool to convince the manager, at least. Yes.
Anybody else who has a question or thought about this? It would be lovely to hear your thoughts.
Just a question, maybe I missed it. Sorry, can I ask one more? Just the bit in the middle bit, how did you get the answers? Was it a survey that you asked? I didn't catch how did you get all the kind of feedback from the employees? How did you collect it?
So we had one-to-ones with the senior managers in order to keep it secret from the other ones, and every information is confidential. Then from all the levels in the organization, we had focus group meetings up to like 12 people, 15 people.
I guess Adam is asking about the result. How do we get the results, right?
Yeah, well, I think you answered the question. It was just how, what did you, was that like a survey? Well, you said it was focus groups that you sat with each person and got with groups and different groups and got feedback.
Yes, so we make the one-to-ones, then we make the focus groups. So we get the patterns there, we learn their purposes, and we get their targets. So we are not asking like in the employee surveys, do you know your targets? But we know their targets and we say, are you motivated about this target? Are you really believe that it will be happening? So we customize the solutions after getting the patterns and critical things from the one-to-ones and focus groups.
And we send emails to all employees, and we are working with an independent research company. They are analyzing on Qualtrics, and we can go into details to the department's gender, work experience, and so on. So we all know what are the correlations, factors, and so on. But we prepare the reports after this Qualtrics analysis.
So it was like anonymous Qualtrics, so people
yes, indeed. Since it is sent the name of emails, the research company of course know the resource who answered what. But ethically, even we are working together, they are forbidden to share these data with us. We don't know who gave which. For us, anonymous. Research company sees it.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Great, thank you for a lovely session, Sebnem and Inanc. That it was really educating, and sorry, I have to stop the session now because we're preparing for the next one.
And next one is me, by the way. Very important one. So I will explain now theoretically that part. So it will be interesting. So let's see.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, and ask them some more questions on LinkedIn or something. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jennifer. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.